You have almost certainly seen this animal already. Maybe through aquarium glass on a rainy afternoon, a child with a hand pressed to the acrylic, watching a sleek, dark shape bank past in a spiral of silver bubble. Or perhaps on a wildlife documentary, half watched from the sofa, a brown shape hauled out on a rock, barking into the wind. It looks like play. It looks tame. It looks like it belongs there. It doesn't. Because 6,000 miles south, in the freezing Southern Ocean, that same lazy twist of the body is how an Antarctic fur seal throws off a leopard seal, one of the most dangerous hunters in the sea. You've seen this animal. You have never actually met it. So let's leave the aquarium and go and find the real one. Start with the name, because the name is quietly misleading. A fur seal is not a true seal at all. It is an eared seal of the family Otariidae, the same branch of the tree as sea lions, not the harbour seals it so often shares a tank with. Watch it come ashore and the difference shows. Where a true seal drags itself along on its belly, a fur seal turns its hind flippers forward and walks, upright on all fours. This particular fur seal, the Antarctic fur seal, breeds on a scatter of cold, wind-scoured subantarctic islands. But more than 19 in 20 are born in a single place, South Georgia, a fang of rock and ice in the South Atlantic. In a good season, a single beach there can hold more fur seals than a small town holds people. The animals that gather there are strikingly mismatched. A breeding male is 4 to 5 times the weight of a female, roughly 130 kilograms against 35, and half again as long. Her pup, when it comes, weighs about 6 kilograms, a small grey scrap beside a quarter-ton bull. And that coat is extraordinary, an underfur of some 300,000 hairs to the square inch, among the densest of any mammal, trapping a film of air that keeps the skin all but dry in water that would kill you. Everything about the aquarium version, calm, grey, faintly comic, has been hiding an animal built for one of the harshest places on Earth. So how do you make a living in the Southern Ocean, one of the coldest and wildest seas on the planet? For the Antarctic fur seal, the answer is almost a single word: krill. At South Georgia, Antarctic krill turns up in some 88% of its droppings. This is a specialist, not a jack of all trades. It fills in the edges with fish, especially the mackerel icefish, which is itself busy eating krill, and the occasional squid. Whole colonies of these seals rise and fall with the krill. When the krill is thin, everything above it goes hungry. In summer, the seas around the island can turn pink with krill, and the seals gorge. In a poor krill year, they starve. It hunts the way every eared seal does, flying underwater with long front flippers rather than sculling with its tail. Most of its dives are modest, around 30 meters, for a couple of minutes at a time. But when it must, a female can drop past 200 meters and a male beyond 300. A nursing mother may be gone anywhere from 1 to 13 days on a single trip, about 5 on average, before she turns for home. Her pup, meanwhile, waits on the beach, living on the last meal she left it until she returns. And all the while she is not just the hunter, but the hunted. Leopard seals and killer whales take the adults. Leopard seals take the pups in appalling numbers. Every trip to sea is a wager against not coming back. The reason they crowd onto those few beaches at all waits back on land, and it is not a gentle business. The bulls haul out a month before the females and fight for territory. The winners are giants, scarred and roaring, each holding a patch of shingle by main force. A single dominant male may hold a harem of around 15 females, and sometimes as many as 27. Around them, the colony crams thousands of animals onto a few hundred meters of beach. It is deafening, it reeks, and it is one of the densest gatherings of large mammals anywhere on Earth. A female gives birth soon after she lands and mates again within about a week. Then she settles into a grueling rhythm, a few days nursing her pup, then days at sea feeding, back and forth for months. Miss too many of those returns, to a leopard seal, to bad weather, to empty water, and the pup on the beach simply starves. Which sets up a problem you might never have considered. Returning to a beach of thousands of near-identical, squalling pups, how does a mother find hers? By voice. Mother and pup each learn the other's individual call and pick that single voice out of the raw. The pup is weaned at about 117 days, only some 4 months old. It will not breed itself until it is 3 or 4. And the sexes age apart. A female may reach 25, a male barely 15. The cost of being a bull, the fighting, the fasting, the sheer bulk, is paid back in years. Now the parts that rewrite the animal entirely. Remember that the female mated within a week of giving birth. By rights, she should already be growing next year's pup, and she is, but only just. In a trick called delayed implantation, the tiny embryo stops and waits, dormant, for months before it settles into the womb and begins to grow. The result is a pregnancy of nearly a full year that still delivers the next pup in the same brief Antarctic summer every single time. Then there is the fur, the thing the animal is named for, and the thing that nearly destroyed it. That coat, which shrugs off the coldest ocean on Earth, becomes a liability in air. Insulated by fur rather than blubber, the seal overheats on land and grooms almost constantly to keep it working. And that same fur is why we came within a breath of erasing the species. 19th century sealers hunted the Antarctic fur seal to commercial extinction by 1907, stripping over 1 million skins from South Georgia alone. And then something rare in this kind of story happened. From a few hundred survivors, rediscovered on Bird Island in the 1930s, the South Georgia population climbed back to around 3.5 million, the most abundant eared seal on the planet. It is one of the great wildlife recoveries of the century. For a few decades, South Georgia's beaches were fuller of fur seals than they had been since before the sealers ever landed. But here is the twist, folded inside the twist. Since about 2009, that triumph has been quietly coming apart. The population is falling by roughly 7% a year as a warming ocean thins the krill the whole system is built on. Saved from the sealers, and now undone by the sea itself. The Antarctic fur seal is a survivor twice over, of the men who hunted it and, for now, of a changing ocean. It walks on land, flies underwater, pauses its own pregnancies, and finds one voice in a crowd of thousands. None of which is on show behind the aquarium glass. It is one of the most quietly extraordinary animals you have ever walked straight past. So the next time a child presses a hand to that glass and a fur seal spirals past in a ribbon of bubbles, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. You've seen this animal. Now, finally, you've met it. Where did you first see a fur seal, a tank, or the wild? Tell me below. One species, told properly. Thanks for watching.